and herb butter with lots of our different Rastelli items, even some of our seafood items, but it's just the perfect accompaniment to put to those great pork ribeye steaks. But we started with turf, so we're gonna jump into the surf, and these are one of our favorite items in our household. Yes, as a crab cake, because they're just exceptional. We're starting with jumbo lump crab meat, but one of my favorite things to eat is crab dip, and Brittany's gonna show you how to make that here in just a second.
And the reason that we have the crab dip coming up in a little bit is because these are so full of crab meat that we think it's important to show you how it could become a base in some of your favorite dishes without all of that filler.
That's exactly right.
So Egg Harbor wanted to create a crab cake that had crab meat in it,
right,
which was more difficult than we found when we were doing our research to find one that really had a lot of crab meat in it. So what we did with this one is we start with some really fresh ingredients. So we have some fresh eggs, a little bit of Dijon mustard, seasonings, a little bit of herbs and green onion, a tiny bit of breadcrumbs just to hold that all together. And then at the very end, we fold in that jumbo lump crab meat just to eliminate as much breakage as we possibly can when we're hand making these in small boutique batches. And then these guys are individually packaged and blast frozen and then sent home to you, and they look exactly like this when they are cooked. So when you flake through, you're gonna see those jumbo lumps throughout your crab cake, and the whole crab cake in the parts that didn't stay in the full lump form is filled with the shredded jumbo lump crab meat throughout. So it's a really sweet flavor. You have that nice succulent crab flavor throughout your crab cake.
Right.
It's not busy with fillers. It's not busy with a ton of seasonings. Your true star of the show here really is the crab meat. Surprise, surprise.
It really is. And we so often go out to restaurants and I'll order a crab cake, and I'm so disappointed when I get it because it's often just all filler, right? And you're like, where is the crab meat? This is a real jumbo lump crab cake. Even when you just see the crab cake in its raw form before it's cooked, you can see those beautiful jumbo lumps right on top of it. This is how they're gonna come. Each one individually vacuum packaged, just like you see here in this beautiful box. And you're gonna get 8 of them. So in this Egg Harbor seafood box, this is a great gift, right? We're not too far from the holidays right now.
No.
You wanna keep this in your freezer and give it to somebody as a gift, or it's a birthday, whatever it may be. What better way than a jumbo lump crab cake? But these are a real crab cake experience.
So from that state that Ray just showed you,
right,
from there, you have various cooking methods when it comes to these crab cakes as well. So if you like to pan saute, that's an option. If you like your oven or your toaster oven, that's also an option, or your air fryer. So these guys just took about 5 or 6 minutes on either side, so 10 to 12 minutes to saute here. And then we are ready to go with our starch and vegetable.
So Brittany, these are actually a 2022 award nominee as well. And again, they're available today for just 5 easy payments of $19.65. This is our Egg Harbor 8 3-ounce jumbo lump crab cake. So you may have seen other crab cakes before, but this is our jumbo lump crab cake.
Look how pretty that is.
It's beautiful.
Doesn't that look like a restaurant plate, except you got to make it in your own home without going out, and sometimes you just want to leave your sweatpants on,
take one of those,
and have a glass of wine like we do after a crazy week.
Take one of those, put it with our sirloin steak, right, and have a beautiful surf and turf.
And here's the air fryer option, which I love. That one takes about 12 to 14 minutes in your air fryer. And this is just a really great salad topper as well. If you're someone that likes to do something quick, if you're working from home and you don't have a lot of time when it comes to lunches, why not treat yourself? So that's a really wonderful, wonderful option. But now my favorite, how I make them around the holidays. So a lot of times if we have people coming over, somebody asks me to bring something, we keep these items that we show you here on our show in our freezer at all times. They really are a staple.
She's not lying. We have 2 freezers in our garage just full of them because we have to have them ready to go at all times.
So a lot of times Ray always likes his crab dip. It's one of his favorites.
I mean, football season's around the corner, right? We're going to be tailgating and hanging out with friends. This is one of my favorite items to have when we have friends over.
And this takes a while to make normally, but not anymore with this recipe. So you're just going to take the crab cakes, defrost them, and then add a little bit of mayonnaise if you want to add a little bit of sour cream, or you can add a little bit of Greek yogurt like I do just to cut the calories a little bit. We don't tell Ray that I do that, and he can't tell the difference. And then we add a little bit of cheese and then just a tiny bit of the Egg Harbor seasoning. When I mix that all together, the crab meat really shines through in this crab dip, because this crab cake is, like I said, filled with jumbo lump crab meat. This is not something that has so much filler in it that this becomes all bready and inedible if you wanted to make a dip. So you could do this. We have our little casserole dish right here.
And Brittany, you know, buying crab dip at the grocery store is expensive. You know, you would easily spend $20 or $30 on a decent sized crab dip. So when you could take 2 of these beautiful jumbo lump crab cakes, that by the way are made from jumbo lump crab meat, not something else that you're gonna get at the grocery store. Sometimes it's even what they call surimi, which is imitation crab meat. This is real jumbo lump crab meat, right? That now you've put into a beautiful dish like that. And that's easily going to serve, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 people to have a beautiful dip as an appetizer or an hors d'oeuvre when you're having friends over, whether it be for football season or any sporting event or even just the holidays approaching, right? This is a great way to kind of start your guest off with a great item.
All right, here we go.
It's, you know, no wonder that they're already getting limited, Brittany. So I just want to take everybody through again what the offer is. 5 easy payments at $19.65, 8 3-ounce jumbo lump crab cakes, and there's just 250 left. So definitely want to jump on QVC.com or call your customer service number, 800-500-7590 to take advantage of these. But look at that dip now out of the oven.
Look how pretty that is, right? And it took absolutely no time. This takes about 25 minutes in the oven. And this is something that you had already in your freezer. I know you have mayonnaise in your freezer. I know you needed the Egg Harbor seasoning a little bit. I know you have some sort of cheese in your refrigerator. All of these recipes that we put together for you are truly recipes that I think that you already have the ingredients at home, because there's nothing worse than when you're reading a recipe and it has so many different ingredients in it. Yes, I know you love it.
I mean, look at that.
It's one of your faves.
Really
but that's something that we also do, that same blend, and we'll stuff mushroom caps around the holidays for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, you often do that.
And that's an option as well. It's also a great brunch option. We'll pour beaten eggs over it with some cheese over English muffins, and then that's another like great crab casserole. So I tell you this because, again, these crab cakes are filled with jumbo lump crab cakes. They are made in small boutique batches by hand. So you can see they're kind of not perfectly shapen, which I think says something, that they are made in those small batches. We call them boutique batches, but the ingredients are really fresh. And the jumbo lump crab meat is added at the very end just to eliminate as much of that breakage as we can.
It absolutely says something, Brittany, because most crab cakes, folks don't realize, they're made by machines, right? If you think about how a hamburger patty is made and it's formed, that's how crab cakes are made. If you go to the grocery store, 50 to 75% of them are going to be made that way. If you get them to make them fresh for you from crab meat, maybe not. But every one of these are made by hand in those small batches. And Brittany talked about the small batches. It's because we need to keep that jumbo lump. It's a premium, right? We're starting with a real premium piece of crab. We want to keep it together. So that's why we do it that way.
And this is one of those items, again, it doesn't take a long time to prepare. This is something that you can thaw out or cook from frozen.
Right.
And then your cooking methods vary. I know I have become, not necessarily this year, but I think last year I became a really huge fan of the air fryer. Because A, it really cooks everything at record speed, I think.
I was going to say, when we first got together, Brittany hates having things on the counter in the kitchen, right? But the air fryer has its permanent place now on her countertop. That's how much she uses it, so.
Sometimes.
It does.
It still goes away sometimes, but it's one of my favorite options to cook with. And that goes for the pork ribeye that we showed you earlier, as well as this crab cake and other items that we have coming up in the show later as well. I just think it really gives the food a wonderful flavor and gives you that extra crunch on the outside, which I love. But again, having something available in your freezer as a staple that you can not only have weeknight dinners with, but even crab cake sandwiches on the weekends. If you have some rolls left over, it's just a wonderful option to have in your freezer for you. They're individually packaged. I mean, think about making these from scratch if you make too many and then you go to freeze them. do they become mystery meat? Do you even know what's in there anymore? There really is no waste whatsoever when it comes to these.
Brittany, I think a can of jumbo lump crab meat at the grocery store today is like $30 or $40 for one can.
For one can.
So when you think about the value here, it's a great value. Crab over the last few years has been at an all-time high, but only at QVC can we bring these to you at this value. So this is 5 easy payments at just $19.65. They're all jumbo lump crab meat. Whether you're making that beautiful crab dip that Brittany just showed, or you're just eating these as an incredible center of the plate entree, you really cannot go wrong, right? One of our favorite things to do around the holidays is pair beautiful seafood items with great meat products. So we'll take a filet mignon, do a little crab cake with it. This is the perfect fish to go with it.
It is, and life is so crazy. I mean, I feel like everybody's lives are busier than when we were younger. So having something available in your freezer to still give you something to look forward to and gather around that table with your family or your significant other or your friends, whatever the case may be. This is something that not only you'll feel special about serving, but you're going to enjoy it and look forward to it as well.
Absolutely. Brittany, you're also, we didn't even mention it, but included in this offer, you're going to get Brittany's Egg Harbor cooking guide. So in here, lots of great uses on how to use your different seafood products from Egg Harbor, ways to thaw the product, how to store it, how to cook it, different temperatures, levels of doneness, things like that. Lots of really great information in there. You're going to want to keep this in your kitchen. We always do, right? And we created it, but we always refer to this just because, especially me, I mean, I'm pretty good at cooking waffles and pancakes, but if I want to do something different, this really helps me, so.
It does, and that's what it's meant for. It's meant to be simple. Seafood should be simple, and that's why we created that, to kind of show everybody that it is.
Right, also should not make your house smell. A lot of folks don't like cooking seafood because it makes their house smell, but that's because they don't have the right seafood, right? Fresh seafood that's been pulled out of the ocean and made by hand in these small petite batches, and that's what these crab cakes have been. So we have just 150 left to go around. Definitely take advantage of those. Again, that's our 8 3-ounce crab cakes on just 5 easy payments at $19.65.